All right, Shalom. I'm going to kick this off with Joel 2 and 27. It says, "And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord, your power, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed." All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations, double honor to the elder apostles at the Great Millstone Church, over the Great Millstone Church, and elder bishops, and the rest of the elders on down to the rest of the Akim. That's other branches, these branches pushing forth, also this true word of life, and all true faith and sincerity, the prophecies. All right, so we the Hebrew Israelites, and coming back with another lesson. Pretty much, really more so a testimony for myself, and pretty much it was a dream I had, and in the dream, I was pretty much I'm gonna just jump to the pinnacle, the climax of the dream. Then I'll go back in into the details before that. But anyway, so in the dream, it was like I was in my neighborhood or whatever, in the neighborhood I stay in, and it's like I was, but I wasn't. But it was set up the same way. It was the same, everything, but it looked different. I don't know. But in the dream, we was in the house, and I was looking out the window, and there was a couple brothers from some of the camps. One of the brothers from the main camp, the elder brother, Amawam Gabar, I believe the elder brother. But yeah, he was in the dream, and it was somebody else. And like I said, I'll go back to the details. I'll jump to the climax, the pinnacle of the dream first, and then go back on the details. But so we in this room, and it's like like how we was in the house was spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It was like we was all like camping there, and brothers was, supping and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And we was sharing the house, sharing the space or whatever. But it was a window behind the brother, and I like pointed. I was like, "Oh snap!" And it's the a window on my crib, basically. It's basically was in my crib, you know what I'm saying? But it's like it wasn't, but it was. Once we went outside, it was my crib. But when we was inside, it was a whole nother place. But it's crazy. But anyway, looked outside the dang window, and I'm like, look, and in the sky, because I'm pointing at the sky, man, it's like the Lord showed me chariots on a whole nother level. Like, they was it was like chariots in the form of rainbows. Like if you took the rainbow and you formed them into chariots, that's how they looked. Like they had all the colors and the array of the colors that the rainbow has, but they was in the form of ships, a chariot. And they wasn't metal, they wasn't nothing like that. They literally like rainbows in the form of chariots. And it was super big, like, and they was like around the clouds, they was flashing. And we went outside, a bunch of people went outside. And then the brother eventually, he seen, oh, then once he looking at that one, I look over to the left, and it's a further back in the sky, it's more chariots in the backdrop. Like we looking at the same direction, you know what I'm saying? But it's more chariots appearing. And in this part of the sky, it was like an open Like they was coming out of this cloud that turned into this open vortex, like a whole portal. And it was daylight. It was like going into evening. So like when the sky started to get the pink hues in it and whatnot. But it was just getting to that point. So it wasn't a completely pink sky. Most of the sky was still blue, but pretty much the sun was almost starting to set. But it was still daylight, daytime. So the clouds look. It was the sunny skies. Because I'm in Arkansas. It's pretty sunny most of the time, but nonetheless, on a sunny day, like certain places, I guess in America, the clouds are high like that. Sometimes the clouds can be real white, or they had like now looking out the window, they can have like a gold, I don't want to say ambiance, but like a gold, like overlay to them somewhat. They not really white. You could like see, and it's probably from the reflection of the skies, the color of, not the skies, the sun, reflecting off of them. But nonetheless, that's how it looked. That's how bright it was. That was the lighting. So in the direction I'm now looking in, it's a big cloud that's just opened up, and chariots, rainbow chariots, is just dropping down. But like on a whole nother level, and they coming out in the form of different shapes. I'm talking about gigantic. It was crazy. And there was a bunch of people that came out the house. It was brothers, a couple women, some women, sisters, whatever. But because in the dream, he had his garment on. I think I had a garment on. And it was other brothers in the dream, but me and him was talking like face to face at times, and he was asking me something. But like I said, I'll go back to those details after. So what ended up happening is when I'm looking at that way, then I point, he's looking at, the initial chariots, and I'm like, oh, look at this one, look at these. Then he look over there, everybody look over there like, and everybody like, oh, look. Then we all look right? And it's a damn big ass, I'm like, oh, what's that? Some more stuff in the sky. It's like a dang, this was metal. It's like a dang, if you was being hasty, you would have been like it was a ship. Cause we seeing the chips, right? The vehicles, that strange salvation. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm gonna cue that up too. Cause those ships is, how the elect gonna be saved? The Lord, you see them, they've been reported, they've been documented even by Esau. But, people get dreams about them. And, it's very peculiar sightings, you know what I'm saying? It's strange, but those are the salvation of the elect, in which we're gonna be called up unto to be saved from the destruction that's about to, the mass destruction, the ultimate destruction that's gonna come upon the earth in the form of World War III, the nuclear missiles being shot from all the countries, hitting one another, but they mainly gonna be targeted all towards America. That's gonna be the only country on the face of the earth that's completely obliterated. And most of the Israelites, hence the elect of the Israelites, are gonna be here. So they're gonna be beamed up from here, called up into them from here. And from everywhere else we've been scattered to through the slave trades, the Israelites, all right, and whatnot. And the Israelites being, again, so-called Negroes, so-called African Americans, black, whatever, West Indians, so-called Native American Indians, so-called Latinas all on their father's side predominantly, because that's who the Israelites found them on, to see their father. Whatever if their father is actually that. But nonetheless, and they scattered amongst all the other nations. So we seeing the ships of salvation, to say the less, right? Say the least. And the Lord's just showing, this ain't the time of us getting beamed up clearly, because it ain't like crazy chaos happening. But to get to the point, I'll see this, I look to the right, and I'm like, oh, look at this. Out of nowhere come this big metal, like, what you would, like I said, if you being hasty, would call a ship, but it wasn't a ship. It ended up being like it came in the form of like what would at first glance be looked at like a ship, but then it expanded and it got bigger, and it was a drone. Got super like, like it completely like expanded. It like grew in size or whatever. And it started flying all weird. You looking at the chariots, you could tell like it's a whole nother, like they conducted or operated in the spirit, like the way they just move, and it's completely graceful. This was like hella mechanical, like this drone that came out of nowhere. Cause it was like, oh, and then they was like, nah, that ain't. The brother, I think he was like, nah, that ain't. He's like, nah, that's it's a drone. I'm like, yeah, it's a drone. And then what ended up happening was a big airplane came out of nowhere. We're like, oh, now what's that? An airplane came out of nowhere, and it's flying. And it was like kind of low, right? But then it got even lower, and it flew across us, and it got even lower. And we just looking like it basically flew right over our heads, and it hit the house, right? It hit the crib next door, right next door to the one we was in. The crib, and again, it's all looking like the neighborhood, what I'm saying, that I live in. But so it landed and hit. We watching it fly over, and we just looking. We ain't get shook or nothing. We just watched it fly right over and hit, the crib next to, mine or whatever. Again, it's what it looks like being on the outside. So, the crib I stay in. But nonetheless, it hit that joint. I'm talking about went into like the roof of the home and everything is just crushed. And we like, oh dang. You know what I'm saying? It was like very close, but it didn't come nowhere near us. It didn't hit us. Nothing fell off. It hit somebody in the head. None of that. It went straight into the crib, next over, the next one over, while we all in the street. And you would think, which was crazy, because this one ended up happening too, I started moving, because I'm like, oh, watch out, because it like kind of hit, the garage or whatever. So I'm thinking gas. So I started moving away, getting away. I'm like, yo, move. Like it's some, like I'm on a movie Bad Boys or something like that. Thinking this about to be a big explosion. And everybody just stood there. I ain't run like nothing crazy, but I got up the stairs and started moving. I'm looking, I'm like, because I'm already knowing the setup, because this, the neighborhood, like the neighborhood I'm staying. So I'm like, hey, I know it's, goddamn gas and all that stuff in there. So I move, and everybody else stay, and they basically like, nah. Like basically ain't nothing gonna happen. And I stopped before I even really went through with my senses to tell them. And it just crashed and didn't blow up or nothing. Like it literally just crashed and just fucked the damn dude shit up. You know what I'm saying? Damn heathen, So that's basically what had happened, And it's further proof. One is prophecy, it's further proof of the scriptures and the prophecies being real. How we have a sure more of the prophecy, because the Lord said he was going He was going to give dreams, and we was going to see visions. And it alludes to the aid and protection and almost the force field that he says is going to be around those as of him, his people that's going to be around his elect, the Israelites, those that are under the vibration of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, because he said, those that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and they that run into it are safe. So let's get these scriptures before I keep going. And it says Joe, and then it also lead me to think about where it said, you gonna know your tabernacle gonna be in perfect peace. It's not gonna come nigh you. You know, 1,000 gonna fall at your sides, you know, but, you know, it's not gonna come 90, we roughly paraphrasing. Less of that one, more so the one in Job in the 5th chapter, how he say you gonna know your tabernacle is gonna be in perfect peace. And what's spiritual about it too, Lord willing, I remember, so I'm gonna hold that point, right? This is Joel 2:27. And another thing that's proved is how the Lord said, I am your God and nothing else. Like, I'm your power, you know? Because all us together under the commonwealth, as is known as in the scripture of Israel, the commonwealth of Yahweh Shem Shah. You know, we was under the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah. You could feel it in the dream, the vibration. But it says 2:22, Joel 2:27, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, which is why I kicked us off with this. It says, and that I am your Lord, I am the Lord, I am Yahweh Shem Shah, your God, meaning your power. See, your power and none else. That's our power, man. You know, ain't nothing else can save you. Nothing else it has you, you know, validated and esteemed, and you know, can fight for you. You know what I'm saying? Or be your fallback plan. Nothing else but Yahweh Shem Shah. So, and my people shall never be ashamed. So in all situations and in all things, we never gonna be ashamed. That plane flew right over, you know, this crib and hit the next one. And then it was controlling the way to where it didn't blow up, because if it would have blew up, somebody could have got hit by something and it would have affected the house we was staying in, the crib we was staying in. When you read on, it says verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. See that? He said, because we gonna know, right? He's in the midst of us, right? Which will prove it when you, and he gonna know, and we're gonna know, and because we Israel, and we're gonna know he's our power and nothing else, you know, and he's gonna prove that to us. Because in all scenarios, we're gonna be straight. You know, despite how things may look or what may happen. You see what I'm saying? And it says, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit, right, upon all flesh. So the first thing with all of this is learning you an Israelite. All right? And you're going to know he in the midst of you. You're going to know the Lord, you know, you're going to learn about the Israelites. Hence, you an Israelite, and the Lord is only for the Israelites. You know? And he and how he's their power, and how he did all these, you know, wonderful works and things like that, and all these wonderful things happen on their behalf, you know, for the sake of them, and how he lead us through all of that. So that's how you get to this point. So that happens, and then throughout that process, you start to get the dreams. These are times we in now, and it says, and these are visions. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass. Matter of fact, and since I say that. And we were just speaking about this on the highways. I'm gonna close this out because pretty much, you know, it's that simple. You go to Sirach 34, talks about how the Most High, he has sent dreams. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. See that? So visions. What is visions? You go into the word visions, you got the word Hazayah. I think that's a Y. It's kind of small, I can't really see it. Hazayah one, right? Or Hazayah one. And it says, or Hazayan, but it says, that's the word for vision. Hazayan or Hazayah one, but it says prophecy. See that in the night. So when you sleep, it says in parentheses in divine communication. So it's the Most High talking to you. You see what I'm saying? Now in all dreams, it ain't the Most High talking to you. All right, you'll know if it's the Most High, if it's you know, of His will and the things that, you know, you want to, see from the Most High for good. Now you will get a chaotic ass dream. Basically, if it aligns with scriptures, man. All right, because damn Satan give you dreams. Demons can give you dreams, or you can just have dreams of things that resemble things, like the scriptures say. Because that's just the science of the body. The word is able to do that. Like your body already set up to operate a certain way, so it responds and operates certain ways. It's configured certain ways. Like you got veins, that ain't something the Lord just put, like it's already in you. That's not something he actively gotta, it's already set up. It's a makeup to this. All right. But so yeah, that's pretty much that. And it says, and also upon, so let me read this. So that's pretty much it on that. This is Iraq 34. And let's start at 3, division of things, division of dreams. Matter of fact, started 1, the hopes of man void of understanding are vain, and false dreams live for fools. Whoso regarded dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and follow after a wind. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. It says, so I'm going to jump down to the point. It says, if they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, when you have them, set not thy heart upon them. See that, for dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. So pretty much the dreams, the Most High can give you a dream, man. He can give you a vision, you know what I'm saying? And you will know it if it's according to the word, scriptures. So pretty much in this dream, and that's in the New Testament, this is something that was going to be going on, so let me jump there, and I'm going to jump to the other one I had, and that pretty much be it, Pull that back up too. That wasn't my Solomon. Yep. This is Acts 2 and 18. It says, we'll start at 16, but this was which was spoken by the prophet Joel, right? It says, matter of fact, let me start at, it's Peter's sermon. I'm going to just start at 14. But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, ye men of Judea, right? Or Judah, right? But anyways, is in all ye that dwell at Jerusalem, right? So you Israelites, be this known unto you, and hearken to my words. For these are not drunken as ye suppose. People hear us say all these things that sound crazy, that sound strange, that we point out, but yet they go and get dreams about them. The dreams we go on to have, and they think it's crazy, but it's all of the will of Yahweh Shemel Shah. You see what I'm saying? It's all prophecy. It says, for these are not drunken as ye suppose, seeing it is but the third day of the hour, right? But it's seeing it is but the third hour of the day. I don't even drink, none of that. But it says, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass, in the last days, right? This is where we just came from. He's like, this is the prophecy that Joel was talking about. I will, right, saith Yahweh Shemel Shah, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, right? Going back to that word, what? Hosea 1, Hazayan. It says, which is divine communication, and your old men shall dream dreams. All right, and on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. Exactly, about the things, basically the further things that's already been said in the scriptures that's going to happen, that's going to come. It says, and I will shew wonders in heaven. See that? And we'll get. I've got a dreams about the wonders in the heavens. You see that? And that's heavy. The Lord showed me a wonder in the heaven in the dream. But it says, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire, right? And vapor of smoke. All right. So there's going to be a lot going on in the sky that's relative to the elect salvation, hence the return of the Lord, coming of Yahweh Shah, the coming back of Yahweh Shah. The sun shall be turned into darkness to further prove this. The sun, where's the sun? It's in the sky, shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before that great and notable day of the Lord come. Exactly. All right. For the Lord, he wants this he ushering, you know what I'm saying, he warming people up. Like, that's what the show gonna be, man. You know? And these are things that's what the wonders of the sky is gonna consist of. The chariots and Esau and all his made up crap that's in the sky, his man-made stuff coming out of it, you know? It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. See that? That's who the salvation for. So the Lord giving you signs of the salvation, proof of the salvation, proof of what the salvation is being said was said to be, you know, which was that was prophesied to be, how it was prophesied to be. He's giving you proof of all that to further prove it's gonna happen. It's all real, and we're not tripping. And it's gonna, and these things are gonna, they're for what they're for. They're for the purpose of, they serve for the purpose of what they serve for the purpose for. So that's our salvation, man. We seen it. That was crazy, man. Rainbow chariots. All right. But it says, ye men of Israel, hear these words. Yahweh Shah of Nazareth, a man approved of Yahweh among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which Yahweh did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. So the Lord, he does wonders through, he can use vessels or things to bring forth wonders. So he can use your dreams, he can use like a man, he can use whatever. You know? Because that was a wonder. You know? And you're gonna actually see stuff like that. All right? So to just go ahead and get to the point, it was basically the Lord supporting, like, you know, because in a dream where danger could have happened to us, we could have been hurt, we was protected. So when you go to Job 5, jumping to the point, and jump down. Let's start at 10. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 8. It says, I will seek unto God and unto Yahweh, and unto Yahweh would I commit my cause. All right, when we know, you know, he running everything and the level he operating on, you know, and what he could do for you. But anyway, it says, which doeth great things and unsearchable, and it says marvelous things without number, who give it rain upon the earth and send it waters upon the fields. He does that physically and spiritually. See that? The spirit, the doctrine, which consists of prophecy, but it says to set up on high those that be low. So the Lord will give you a beautiful dream, you know, in the spirit, if you will, to bring you up. You know what I'm saying? He does all these things to bring us up, to make sure you end up on the ships. You see what I'm saying? He sent water on the earth physically and spiritually to where you can endure, you know, and see that salvation, man. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it says that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. See that? It's levels to it. But I'm gonna jump down to the point. And this fire, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty. That's exactly what happened with that drone and that airplane. You know? We ain't paid no mind, it didn't work, because drones is used for all type of purposes. Drop bombs, watch, spy, whatever. And deliver stuff, whatever. And then we didn't pay that no mind, and then the airplane flew past, and it was, you know, it crashed. Lord took it out the sky. Because it's in the sky at the same time as the chariots. Trying to take, you know, distract. The Lord had that mother crash through the angels. You know, and we know that the angels basically did it because the angels was in the sky before they appeared. So here they come, and then right when that happened, when the airplane appears, while the chariots whole time still there, you know, the damn airplane made the crash, and we literally get to watch it fly right over our heads, crash, but it crashes so strategically without exploding at all. You know, didn't nothing touch us. You know, but it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. Airplane is the device, you know, that's the craftsman, aircraft, right? It says so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And they could have been coming to destroy us. It could have been, you know what I'm saying? But we wouldn't have knew because the Lord ain't even going to give them a chance. It says he taketh the wide, but we are ahead. We are let in on the fact that they are trying to do that, which is what we read now. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So I'm going to jump to the point. But he saveth the poor, verse 15, from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty, right? So the poor hath hope. See that? And iniquity stoppeth her mouth. So, behold, happy is the man whom Yahweh Bashem Shah corrected. Therefore, despise not the chastening of the Almighty. So, trust the process, man. You know, I ain't had a heavy, beautiful dream like that in a minute, man. You know, I've been dealing with all type of fucking demons fucking with me. But nonetheless, it says, for he make it sore and bind it up. He wounded and his hands make whole. See that? This the point. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yeah. In 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death. And in war from the power of the sword. See? And the ultimate war is you know, all these devices is World War III, but you know, it's many wars before that. You know what I'm saying? Like, which World War III gonna be fought with missiles, you know, and other, you know, ballistic missiles, long range missiles, you know, ICBM, so forth and so on, intercontinental ballistic missiles, so forth and so on, man. But the little minor things like these drones and stuff like that, you know. And that dream was crazy, man, because airplanes been falling out the skies as of lately. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. And that's exactly what happened in that dream. We was standing there when nobody shook. Airplane flying right over our head. And it wasn't like a complete airlines airplane. It was like a cruise airplane. You know what I'm saying? Basically a jet, almost. You know, it wasn't small, but it wasn't, like I said, a large airplane. You know, it's like a little personal, they call it a PJ, a jet or something like that. You know, a smaller one though, with like the wings, the ones that are like fly over the waters. You know what I'm saying? Which is spiritual. But anyway, it says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee. And it's the point, and thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace. And that's what that dream was showing, you know, because we was in what looked like to be my crib or the crib I stay in, but on the inside, it was a whole nother house that we was all living in, which through the spirit represented, you know, the house, you know, of the Lord, the house of the elect of David. You see what I'm saying? Hence the elect, the strong tower that all the righteous run into and are safe. It says, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin. See that? So, yeah, that's pretty much that. What did I just quote? Give me a second. Yep, Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'asham, in the name Yahweh Shah. The name of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shah, which is what Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shah means. It simply means Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shah. All right? Because you can't go straight to the Father no more. You got to go through Yahweh Shah. But anyway, it says Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shah. The name of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shah is a strong tower. See that? And it says the righteous run it into it and it's safe. And going back to the dream now, right? Oh, that's fire too. It says in the next verse, the rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as a high wall in his own conceit. See that? But those things could be took out like that, and they will be, you know, because safety of the Lord. The horse could be prepared for battle, but safety is of the Lord. And it's spiritual because the crib next door, this nigga got a serpent flag on his crib or whatever. You know, it's a damn devil. You know what I'm saying? And on the flag, it says, "Don't tread on me." You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, man. So in the dream, when I was cause it looked like, you know, the neighborhood, you know, I stay in, you know, and whatnot, you know, but it wasn't. It looked like a whole nother place. And on the inside, in the dream, you know, when I was talking to the brother, you know, I was looking him in his eyes, cause you know, I never met the brother. You know what I'm saying? So when he was in the dream, the elder brother, when he was in the dream, he came to me and was, you know, looked me dead in my eye, was talking to me about something. And I told myself in the dream, or the spirit told me in my mind, in my head, you know, cause I ain't said it out loud. It was like, yeah, he that's a real brother. That's an actual brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no like he was just plain regular. You know what I'm saying? Like he, you know, just a serious regular, you know, brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I can, you know, it said a man may be known by his look when thou meetest him. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, that's an elder brother that's, you know, been teaching for years. You know, obviously got a good report, so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? But in the dream, I was just like, yeah, this is an actual brother. And we was just supping, sitting down. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all like crashed at the crib. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, bro. It was a very heavy dream, or, you know, a little quick dream, man. So yeah, that's basically it, man. You can read Wisdom of Solomon 5. Is what that was dealing with is ultimately what? The strange salvation, man. You know? It was amazing to see those chariots, you know, rainbow chariots. So yeah, that's basically the point. I'm gonna say, call on my Yahweh Bashim Yahushua wa Harakakadash. You know, everybody gonna see this coming, and you know, the message of the dream is, you know, we gonna be all right, man. We gonna see all these things happen to people, happen to everybody else, but because we, you know, believe in the Lord, you know, He's gonna give His angels charge over us, which is who drive those ships. You know, to where we completely straight. And I'm gonna end that here. This is Psalms 91, and I'm gonna start at 2. I will say of Yahweh, He is my refuge. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, He is my refuge and my fortress. See that? Spiritual. It says, my God, in Him will I trust. So the fortress represent like the crib. But anyway, surely He, and another thing, the Lord said, I gotta get this real quick. He said, when you go to the book of Isaiah, in the 4th chapter, and you jump down to like the last verse, He said, there shall be because basically the chariots was defending us, because it was the time of them being there, and then the damn plane coming out of nowhere, you know, but crashing, going low, looking like it's about to hit us, but then being dragged out to where it goes straight into the you know, to this damn what was next to us. It was all guided, it was all divine. So clearly the angels was there doing that, which is why they was in the sky. So when you go to Isaiah 4 and 5, it says what? And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Zion. So all the actual Israelites, true Israelites, the elect of the Israelites' houses. And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, right? And upon her assemblies a cloud. See, a cloud, dealing with, you know, chariots, what they call UFOs. You know, it's another code word for the chariots in the scriptures, clouds. It says, and smoke by day. See, and smoke by day. And it was daytime in the dream. It says, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. See that? And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat. And the heat is used to represent the, you know, pretty much the trouble that come our way, the trials and tribulations. And for a place of refuge, and for a covert from storm and from rain. So that house was set up for us to perfectly be in, that the Lord was watching over, you know. and protecting through the angels, hence who are in these clouds, these ships. And that the chariots was over what was depicted to be, my crib, but ultimately not my crib, because it was spiritually showing, because I'm in the house of the Lord, and all the others that are also in the house of the Lord, wherever we at is gonna be protected. Whatever's ours, it's not gonna come nigh our dwelling. So there you go. So this Psalms 91:3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. See that? And from noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers. See that? He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. See that? Dealing with the ships. That's another code word for the chariots, right? Because it tell you right here in Isaiah 31:5, as birds flying. See, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts. See, the Lord of angels. That's what hosts mean, right? The Lord of angels, right? Defend. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts or angels defend Jerusalem. See that? What do birds have? Feathers. How do birds fly? Wings. See that? What's flying in the sky? The UFOs. Who's driving them? The angels. What are they used to fly? What are they flying through the skies with? The chariots, mainly. They can fly, but they flying through the chariots, man. There's a lot of people flying in their cars, as people be saying, As birds flying, man. So and they birds all over the place. Birds all through the sky. Talking about the angels. So as birds flying, so the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Talking about the ships defending, also he will deliver it. And passing over, he will preserve it. Because ultimately that was the Lord going over the crib. You see what I'm saying? They guided that to destroy this motherfucker. Talking about some don't tread on me with a serpent. But anyway, so coming here, Psalms 91 is 4, ending it. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. And that's what that dream was used to induce. It says, his truth shall be thy shield. And it was because you got this truth. I have this truth. It says, and it's going to be the same thing for you that believe in his truth. It's because there's only one truth. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. From what? The fiery darts of Satan. It says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror, right, by night, nor for the arrow that fly by day. See that? And that's how he was in the streets. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. See? So next door, so forth and so on. But it shall not come nigh thee. That's why I didn't explode, because it would have. Because stuff could have ricocheted. See that? Last verse. Well, might as well read through 9. It said, I might as well read through 10. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold, and see the reward of the wicked. And it's so crazy because this crib has a flag that literally has a serpent on it that says, don't tread on me. You can't make it up. And the Lord said, what? We go tread. He gave us power to tread over the serpents. You could not make this up, man. It says, because thou hast made, it's the reason, because thou hast made the Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. So the house was used to represent the Most High. See that? Who is the tower, the strong tower? Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. It says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So you want to be abiding in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, not your crib. You see what I'm saying? Because if you abide in him, your crib is going to be like the abode of Yahweh, So that's basically it. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee. That's why they was there. They knew that ship was on the way, that plane. It says, to keep thee in all thy ways. Or they made it come out of nowhere just to show they got the power to do that. Hence the times we coming up on. So he's going to give him his angels charge over you to keep thee in all thy ways. So I'm going to say, call on me, how about Shem Yahshua. Lord willing, you learn something next time. Shalom.